discover Venice. It's the city by the sea. Painted skies at sunset. It's the place for you and me. There's no place like Venice with enchanting history. Shaded drives and azure tides, it's the only place to be. You can sail away right through the bay, out to the sparkling sea, or go exploring on the beach, so much within your reach.
Welcome to Beyond Venice. Today we're going to be discovering a beautiful church on Center Road. With me is Father Vincent Sheehy, the pastor of this church. Good morning, Father.
Hi, Abby. Good morning. Welcome to Our Lady of Lourdes.
Thank
We're pleased
you.
to have you here today.
Thank you, Father. And while we're here at this lovely site, would you explain the figure here?
Yes, we have the statue of the risen Christ, and this symbol here is the Greek lettering for the first three letters of the name Christ. The letters here actually are CHR in Greek, the Chi-Rho. So that's the significance of the statue here with the symbolism of Christ welcoming the people, the faithful, as they come into the church.
Well, thank you very much. Well, we'll be going inside now to meet some other artisans who have contributed to the work of this lovely facility. We just had to stop by these lovely gardens. And this might be the good time, Father, to tell us about how this all began.
Well, the parish was established on July 1st, 1988, and, 1986. And the building, the first building was completed in 1988. And this church was completed in 94 and dedicated in 1995, in February 1995. So it's still very new.
Very
recent.
new.
And it turned out beautifully. We're very pleased. It's a Mediterranean style, kind of the Italian, Spanish style, and it blends well with the city of Venice. We
Yes,
try to
it does.
follow
Yes,
that theme.
It does.
Yeah.
And did you have anything to do with the design of this?
Yes, we planned this building. It took about 3 years of planning. We want to make sure it turned out well, so it took a while to plan it. And we had a very good architect and a good contractor and a building committee of professionals, and thank God it worked out well.
Well, we're going to be talking with a couple of the artisans who contributed to this wonderful building and structure. And I think that's the important thing, that you were able to bring together these talented people to all work in a collaborative effort to produce this.
Yeah, we wanted to get local people. We didn't want to go away to New York or up north to get talented people. We wanted to use local people from Sarasota or Venice, and we did. And there's a lot of talent right here. You don't have to go elsewhere.
Well, you've discovered them,
Yes,
haven't
really.
you? Well, we'll be going inside now to meet a couple of those artisans. We're sitting here right in the very front of the church. And Father, I counted. There are 41 faceted glass windows here. But would you tell me the difference, please, between faceted? I always thought they were stained glass windows.
Well, there is a difference. Faceted glass is multicolored pieces of thick glass, about an inch thick or bigger, that are placed in an epoxy that creates a very durable, strong window so that it could resist heavy winds. And that's important here in Florida, to have durability in the windows. So that's really why we selected faceted glass over stained glass.
And I have spoken with Kate White of the White Stained Glass business in Sarasota. And she told me something interesting that I didn't realize. They obtain their glass from West Virginia, and then they melt it. And when they introduce various metals, such as cobalt, then that turns it blue. And that's how they derive all of their colors. And they buy them in sheets and then, of course, cut them there. Now tell us, how did you arrive at the theme for these windows?
Well, it was back in 1983. I was visiting Israel. We had a pilgrimage from Miami to Israel. It was the 25th anniversary of the Archdiocese of Miami. And on that visit, we stopped in Nazareth, where the beautiful Basilica of the Annunciation is located. And they had a theme there of murals on the Blessed Virgin Mary, since Our Lady lived in Nazareth, and it was there that the angel Gabriel appeared to her. So with the theme from the Basilica in Nazareth, which was murals from various countries of the world that donated towards the murals representing the life of Mary, I thought, well, we could do something similar here with the windows, but it would be more on national devotions to Our Lady. So from various nations throughout the world, and that's how we picked up the theme then. The windows here represent devotions to the Blessed Virgin Mary from various countries throughout the world. Some of them are depict apparitions, others are devotions alone.
And they're very graceful, I think, and uplifting in design and scope. And I do see so many countries. You can see the names of the countries and the flag and a little symbol of something from that
What we
country.
did is we divided, the windows are in 4 panels, mainly because for durability, again, the mullion bars strengthen the windows. So the top panel would be the title of the window. For example, Our Lady of the Cape for Canada, or Our Lady of La Leche, which is the American window from the devotion to the nursing mother, Our Lady as patroness of nursing mothers, a devotion that was brought from Spain to St. Augustine, Florida in 1565. So we have the title of the window at the top panel. The next panel would be the depiction of Our Blessed Lady, and then the third panel would be the symbol of the nation, which for the United States is the eagle, the bald eagle.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bottom panel is the flag of the country, plus the date that signifies when the apparition or the devotion was introduced. And in the case of the United States, it's 1565, long before the Pilgrims ever came to New England. The Spanish, of course, had colonized in the States.
Very interesting. Now, did you yourself come up with the designs?
Well, the designs were done by the artist, Kate White. But I researched the windows because I wanted accuracy. I didn't want anything in there that was questionable. So it took about, I would say, almost a year and a half to research. And that meant going to a lot of sources in Europe as well as here in this country. So it did take a while, but when I gave all the materials to Kate, then she developed the themes. Did a great job.
Oh,
We're very
lovely.
pleased.
You know, how did you arrive at the name, Our Lady of Lourdes, for this parish?
That was the name of the parish in Chicago where I was as a kid.
Oh,
I graduated from that school. a long time ago.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm happy to know that,
And the
too.
bishop, of course, wanted the first parish. This was the first parish, incidentally, created in this diocese by Bishop Nevins on July 1st, 1986. So like a couple of years after the diocese began. And he selected also, he agreed, you know, that Our Lady of Lourdes would be a proper title for the new parish.
And you know, I learned a new word when I was reading. You have that brochure in the office that describes all of the windows here. And the word is transept. And I didn't realize, but of course that means these extra little alcoves or additions.
Yes.
And you were telling me the other day why you had to add these to the original design of the
Yes.
building.
Well, originally, when the architect was designing the building, we were considering about maybe a church that would seat around maybe 1,300 people, which we thought would be large enough, until they started to announce some new developments, residential developments in the area. And when I heard about one of them in particular that would have over 2,000 families going in, I called the architect and I said, Rafael Moro, from Winter Park is the architect, and I said, we have to enlarge the church without changing the roof line. And that's what he did. He added 4 transepts that accommodate 100 people each.
Well,
So we
that
increased the
enlarged it.
size by 400.
Oh, well, thank you, Father. We have to take a break now and listen to our sponsors. We'll be right back. God gives some people a little bit of talent in one area or another, and some a lot. And this lady, he just bestowed so abundantly, because Rosemary Fisher is the gal who composed my theme song now, Come Discover Venice. And this wonderful artist has also painted the lovely mural of Our Lady of Lourdes, which you see here. And she's going to tell us a little bit. What was the process that you went through in doing this, Rosemary?
Well, first, how I got the commission was due to Father's liking the portrait that I did of the bishop sometime before the church was built. And evidently I did a good enough likeness that he figured that since I had been a portrait painter for many years, my great love is doing people, he said, well, I want you to do the mural. Well, what an honor.
Oh, well, it certainly is. And you know, tell us your philosophy of portraiture. I think that's beautiful.
Well, it's always been to see honestly but kindly. Sometimes too honestly, but mostly kindly.
Well, and her portraits are lovely. I've seen some. All right, now how did you go about Our Lady here?
Well, number one, we had to order the canvas from Belgium. It's Belgian linen canvas on stretchers. And without several people to help me do this project, I could not have done it alone. Number one, Father and the building committee. Number two, Phil Baker, who did the molding and lots of other work on the altar, which he'll tell you about, I'm sure. And number three, Jean McCall, who did the beautiful gold leaf lettering on the bottom of the mural, and the other gentleman who did the carving. And last but not least, my husband, Joe Fisher, who helped me on his hands and knees many days, laying out canvas, et cetera, et cetera. So consequently, I started with a charcoal sketch, and several charcoal sketches, as a matter of fact, and just to show the building committee what it might look like in a layout type. Then after my sketches, well, here's the one of the Virgin.
Oh.
And my model was a 14-year-old girl who posed for both Bernadette and Our Lady. And she had lovely, lovely features, and she hadn't started wearing makeup yet, so she was perfect for the part. I had to give her the pose I did of her as Bernadette, but I was able to keep this one.
Rosemary, how tall is the mural? How big?
Oh, it's 15 feet tall by 9 feet wide.
And Our Lady is?
6 feet tall. Then after the charcoal sketches were approved, I did the oil on canvas. And this is also Belgian linen canvas. Everything was done according to Hoyle, as far as I could plan it. And then after that was approved, then the initial painting began, and it took a year to plan and to find all the people involved that would help me get it done. And then when it was all ready to be started painting on the canvas, this is where my husband and I came in. We had to roll out the canvas on the floor and square it off in 1 square foot increments. This is done to scale, 2 square inches to a square foot. And as you can see, I have numbered the squares and across and down, so that when I transferred the drawing to the actual canvas, I had my map to go by. Very simple.
And how did you transfer it then onto your
Well,
design?
This is like Michelangelo did his Sistine Chapel. He did simple little drawings like this, only in his case, he punched holes around the design, and then he rubbed charcoal through the holes. In my case, now in modern days, we have oil pastels, which they dissolve right along with the pigments I paint with. So I was able to take a ballpoint pen, and with a little pressure on the canvas, voila, it transferred to the canvas.
Thank you so much, Rosemary, for sharing
You're
your
welcome.
song and your lovely painting. I think of you every time I come here to church. We'll be right back. Phil Baker is responsible for the lovely wooden objects that you see on the altar. And Phil, would you tell us what your contribution was?
Well, actually, you can't say I'm responsible, the church is. And Father Sheehy, whom you heard talk about the windows, is responsible for coming to me, and at lengthy discussion, I did put on paper the design of the altars that you see, the lecterns, the chairs. We also, in the chapel, did an altar there and baptismal. Now, the most difficult part of all, though, was to please Rosemary Fisher. She has this painting 15 feet tall, 9 feet wide, and I'm given the responsibility to frame it, to have it look well, to look in scale, and number one, not to take away from the beautiful Lady of Lourdes. And to this extent, I think we managed to pull it off quite well. Jean McCall from Englewood, who does a nice job of wood carving, ran the size of where you see I Am the Immaculate Conception through his computer, was able to come up with the correct spacing and size of the lettering, and so there it is. Well, I think that Rosemary's been very happy with what we gave her.
Oh, and what kind of wood is this?
The wood is Honduran mahogany, chosen, number one, for its ease in working, its beauty, and it is also very dormant. It doesn't expand and contract. It's quite stable. So all of these things were involved in our choice.
And tell us about the design of the front of the altar.
Well, once the altar was designed and Father Sheehy and his council said, this is what we want, I would put this panel where you see the carving together in my shop. It would go to a wonderful person called Len Schaffenberger, who lived in South Venice, and he would present Father Sheehy with a drawing of what he intended to carve on there. And this process then went almost like as Rosemary. It would go onto the wood instead of canvas, and instead of paints, it's the carving chisels. And it took Len with all of the, you can't see it, but on either end of this altar is another panel showing an angel in prayer. And he did many other, the crucifix under the Lady of Lourdes painting, Lenny did. So it was...
The Stations of the Cross, too? Did he do those?
The Stations of the Cross, which you see at every angle in the church, were done by Len, yes. Yeah. And Father Sheehy says, where do I put them and how high? So we had to walk through the church before they went up.
And you're still actively engaged in your endeavors, aren't you, in woodworking?
My son and I are definitely going full tilt, yes.
Oh, that's great,
Yes.
Phil. Well, thank you so much for being with us today and helping everyone to learn more about Our Lady of Lourdes.
Nice place to be.
It sure is. Thank you, Father and Rosemary and Phil Baker. We don't want to forget to mention and give our thanks to Ted Nightwine, who did all the finishing touches for Our Lady's mural that you see here. Next time, we are going to be talking with a jeweler in our town who does custom design, one-of-a-kind jewelry with a circle of 18 helpers. Now, can you guess who that might be? We'll be there next time. We'll see you. Thank you for being with us today.
Discover, 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 discover Venice, Venice. Come discover Venice, it's the city by the sea. Painted skies at sunset, it's the place for you and me. There's no place like Venice with enchanting history. Shaded drives and azure tides, it's the only place to be. You can sail away right through the bay, out to the sparkling sea, or go exploring on the beach, so much within your reach. Live in love in Venice, how contented you will be. Sun and surf invite you to the city by the sea. There's no place like Venice It's the only place to be.